around the Beltway on a regular basis. You like live in America, and you know, yeah. And so, what is your sense? I mean, where is the body politic right now? Like, what is the feeling in the heart of the country?
Not with the Beltway. And it's interesting because when you look, if you look at the marketing from the left, how many of you saw the video Mr. Kid President? Have any of y'all seen you've seen Mr. Kid President? He's this precious little black kid that all over Facebook, all over YouTube. I think it's up to 28 million hits. And it's this kid, he's Mr. Kid President. And he, you know, is playing the role, but it's not political at all. He doesn't talk, all he talks about is go be great. Just be awesome, you know, and that's all we need to do. And who tapped into the greatness of this kid? Was it Romney or was it Obama? Well, it was Obama. He invited him to the White House. They did another YouTube video, and he's walking around showing him Lincoln, showing him Martin Luther King, and this kid is Mr. Kid President. He's now the spokesman to children in America. He's the kid that invites them all to the White House for the Easter egg hunt. How many conservative Republicans have even seen that video or even know about that video? And I love that video. I push it out because it makes me feel good. I want to be great. And he tells you old people, y'all are boring. So that narrative online that our kids are seeing, that the next generation are seeing, they just want to feel good. They're scared to death. They feel what's going on, and they want to go to a safe place. And it's interesting because when you talk about the issue of education, one of the things, you know, you would think that as a conservative Republican, I would be all for school choice. I mean, that's the narrative that the left has. That's the narrative that the left has. Those right-wing Republicans, they're for school choice. They're against public schools. They're against, you know, and they've created that divide. Well, when I go in and talk to groups about education, let's define school choice. Because for me as a mom, school choice means I look at my little community to see what is available for my children and what's the best thing. It might be public school, it might be private school, but here's the deal. When you look at this federal takeover of our education system right now, and as we're pushing for school choice, if we collapse, if we allow them to collapse our public school system, we have just gone to a charter school, vouchers, a private school, where they are all run by appointed boards. Those appointed boards are beholden to who's giving the grant money. We have just taken away our fundamental right, the beauty of the local public school system, for elected officials. An elected school board. If I don't like what's going on in Argyle, Texas, I go up to my school board meeting and I raise holy hat. They know who I am. And that's the power of a mom and dad. So we have to, and so when I go in and I'm talking to education people, they think I'm going to come in and just, you know, talk about how horrible they are, that they're a bunch of socialists and communists. And I say, no, let's work together. Because do we really see what's happening? And let's talk about the issues and come together at the local level. Everything can't be fixed in the Beltway. Everything can't be fixed in our state capitals. It has to be taken down to the local level. And there's a video of Bill Ayers, and he's talking to a group of community organizers. And he said, listen, don't try to seek the seats of power that you don't have access to, the president, senators, congressmen. Go to the seats of power that you have direct access to, city council, mayors, and school boards. So until conservatives understand that we've got to get down to the ground level and take our country back one school board, one mayor, one city council at a time, and not depend on the Beltway to fix it for us, it's gonna be us, not elected officials.
All right, so now we're gonna go to the audience, because I have a feeling people want to weigh in. And we'll do a little bit of that, and then we'll come back and finish up. Who wants to go first?
Just, could you identify yourself before
Yeah,
you?
I'm Catherine Starks, for-profit side of Square One Media Network and nonprofit Doctor Patient Medical Association. You know, I'm really disagreeing with someone I hear. When you talk about analytics, the analytics get us nowhere. We keep using truth and analytics to argue our points, and it falls on deaf ears. And what I hate to say is that, especially coming from what we talked about this morning as well, we heard that younger people like our ideas but think we're old-fashioned. They like our principles but not our policies. So we lose them somewhere in the delivery. They can't make that leap. I think I hate to say it, but I think we've got a style versus substance problem. We've got the substance and we just keep hammering on substance. And I'm sorry to say, but the truth doesn't seem to matter because it can be distorted in any way that is wanted. As Bill pointed out, the left using the anger to completely distort the truth and create the outrage on their side. And we, except in some areas where our principles don't match our policies, in the social area, but we won't get off onto that, we need to shake it up how we deliver and how we look. And I'll give you a quick example. I was doing a Senate campaign 3 years ago. Through a series of events, I had an online news agency next to my office in Seattle. And they came over to tell me about a candidate, the candidate saying something. And my answer to him was, well, so Dino says basically F, see, I almost said it, F the people, the public.
Yeah, we're not working blue here.
Okay. And then he wrote me back and said, well, I'm not going to use that. And I said, you know what? Go ahead and use that, because I was on the phone call where this candidate spoke. And he used that word. So they used it. This turned into a huge blowout. That how all of a sudden this Republican, this is how Republican Christians really talk when they're alone. So I get back on all the left-wing blogs and say, what makes you think I'm a Republican or a Christian? Because I'm Jewish and conservative. And so that shut them up. And the conservatives jumped on me, but all the left-wing blogs were saying, you know, I really have new respect for Clint Didier and Catherine Starks because they actually said something straight out. And it was a game changer in terms of the perception. And I don't recommend everybody go out and drop F-bombs, but, you know, I show up at their cocktail parties. I actually don't drink or anything, but I'm pretty obnoxious. Even without drinking, nor can attest to that. And I'm mouthy, and I swear like a sailor, and I usually don't, change that. And I don't have a whole lot of trouble going out and speaking to, Al Sharpton had me up to speak at National Action Network, and I criticized Hillary Clinton to them. As they were talking about the man, I talked about the woman. And so I'm coming back to the style versus substance, and it pains me to say that, but we need to, we've got to change. It's like the fact that you even feel the need to explain a hashtag
Because I know that I have to.
is a bad sign.
It probably is. Who's next? Let's go up front here first.